Yeah, Player T, that's me, Hollywood in the hood, doing it really big. Yeah, I'm getting took to school tonight, baby. I'm getting took to school tonight, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it having guys from the Nuwaubian Nation on the show tonight. Yeah, Hotep and Elder Green. Yeah. Hey, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate that, guys. Now, right off the top, I want to get schooled on the meaning of Nuwaubian Nation and what's your principal core values.
Okay. Us being Nuwaubians, okay, we are the ancient Egyptians that was prophesied to come back in the last days through DNA. Okay, nothing spook spiritual about it. Dr. York, our spiritual guide, okay?
Dr. Malachi York.
Dr. Malachi Z.K. York L. Akron, okay, 33 degrees over. He's doing very well under the conditions that he's in, okay? He has a legal team. He should be getting out any day now, but not to get off the subject. Yes, thank you. But we're called the Nuwaubian Nation. We're a solvent nation. We're indigenous, okay? And we're here to wake up our class people here in the hood, okay, showing them how we are the gods and goddesses that was prophesied back in the biblical time. It's not about religion. We're not a religion organization. We're a fraternity and a sorority.
Okay, so you're not a religious
We're not a religious organization.
Okay, yeah, let's get that out the way. Because
right.
I heard about the Nuwaubian Nation, but I didn't know much, and so that just cleared up a lot for me right there. Now, and you said your leader, Dr. Malachi York, what did he stand for?
Dr. York is here for the upliftment of Africa and all black folks here in America, okay? We're depicted as a racist hate group, but we're quite the opposite. We're a love group. We teach our people how to love themselves and how to better themselves. Yeah. Okay, everybody know that mainstream society, if you're not walking with them, then they paint you as a negative, okay? Just the way they did Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad, Sheikh Dawood, all them great leaders before Dr. York, either they incarcerated them physically or they character assassinated them, okay? Or they just outright killed them. So they couldn't touch Dr. York, so they falsified charges on him, okay, in 2002, okay? He was falsely incarcerated, and we've been fighting for his freedom ever since. Yeah. Okay?
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Now give us a little perspective on your nation, how big it was, its reach and scope.
Well, we had over 473 acres of land in Georgia, in Putnam County.
How much?
473 acres of land.
Wow.
We had 3 lakes. We had livestock. We was doing for ourselves. Okay. Dr. York is a Liberian diplomat. Okay. And they wasn't even supposed to touch him. But we was right there in the middle of KKK land. Okay. We was trying to build a Egyptian theme park. Okay. Dr. York to trace his descendancy all the way back to Egypt. He's a bloodline descendant of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. He's also a bloodline descendant of Old York, of Ben York, of the Lewis and Clark expedition. He's traced his descendant. He has paperwork, birth certificates, his whole lineage all the way back to Egypt. Wow. They feared this man. They feel this man's worse than Malcolm X or Elijah Muhammad, okay? And they tried to do a Waco on our land, but Dr. York wasn't there. And with the blessings of our Natharu, which is our gods or our overseers, we also have our own language. To be a nation, you got to have your own land, you got to have your own language, and you got to have your own culture. That's what the Nuwaubian Nation is about.
And you were telling me that the Nuwaubians is tied to the land, the Nubian land. Nubia.
Of Nubia, right, or Nuwaubian.
Is tied to there.
Right. Well, that's how we get. We're not a religious organization, but majority of our people out here is in religion. Okay. So what Dr. York did was he took certain tools of religion and placed them in his books and showed them the truth of their religion. Not the white. This is not racism. Not the 21st century or the white man's meaning of Christianity or Judaism or Islam, but through a black man's perspective, through our own father's perspective. Right. He's a master linguistic. Dr. York speaks 19 different languages fluently. Okay, he translated the scriptures, the Torah, the Injil, which is the book of Revelations, the book of Songs, all these different books. He's translated from the Latin, the Greek, the Ashuric, the Syriac, all these different languages, where these original tablets was originated from. Yeah. The Bible came out of, not to get off the subject, the Bible came from a ancient tablets called the Yaanuwn Elish and the Gilgamesh Epics and the Esther Hasis, stone tablets, okay? And the government has some of these tablets in the Library of Congress, okay? And what they did was they took these tablets and mistranslated these tablets into what we call the Bible today. Dr. York retranslated it and put it in the right perspective, with him being a linguistic of different languages.
So you think that's what made him a target of, the forces that be?
Exactly, but it was also prophesized. Dr. York, we're not talking spookism. I've met the man. I've touched him. I've shook his hand. I've ate with him. I've cried with him. He's our personal savior and spiritual guide for this day and time. Every 100 years, every 1,000 years, the nation, the black folks, is given a teacher or a reformer to guide them back to the straight path. Dr. York just happens to be, for us, the black folks. Okay?
Set the record straight.
Exactly. We're just here to set the record straight.
Let me ask you something, Elder Green, because you used the words, we had acres of land. What happened?
They stole it. They stole our land and falsified charges and incarcerated Dr. York.
So they confiscated.
We have a $100 million lawsuit against the state of Georgia right now.
Is that right?
Exactly. We're not going nowhere. They thought that Dr. York, he's been raising leaders. He said he's not raising followers, he's raising leaders. So he's been teaching for over 50 years now. So he said that they should have stopped him in 1970, but by then he had planted the seed. Now you got Nuwaubians, you got gods and goddesses running around all over the world now, preaching right knowledge, right wisdom, and right understanding.
Let me ask you a question, brother. Why do you think the nation hasn't folded, besides the fact that, Dr. York is not prescribing to raising followers, but instead leaders? Besides that, why do you think, you're still striving?
Well, number one, we in the number one business in the world. And the number one business in the world, but I'm going to ask you the question, what do you think the number one business in the world is?
Export, import?
The number one business in the world, as our master teacher taught us, is the information business.
And all he do is write books.
So what we bring about is right, exact, correct information. We've been polluted with all the different lies and fairy tales and myths about life that breaks you down and gives you junk DNA.
Yeah.
And it overrides.
I like that.
It overrides your natural nature of your ancestors' DNA that's in you.
Okay.
So we have a reconnection with the supernatural because you're supernatural. Yeah. Now we got to show you how to walk back that journey and the rituals you need to know to become supernatural again.
Well, a lot of people attribute that to, walking with the ancestors.
Exactly.
So how do we translate that into somebody right now? Because I never walked with a dead person.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what they want you to think. The societies, the powers that be, and the different religions, that's why us as Nuwaubians, we don't look upon our deceased in a dead state. Because the last memory you want to have of your mother, your father, your aunt, your uncle, your sister, your brother, your grandmother, your grandparents is them alive.
Oh!
That's why we're not going in the ground. You're going to cremate us, and we're going to go back to the heavens. Okay? That's why we don't have funerals. We have memorials. We have balloon ceremonies, because your physical is what dies. Your soul lives and lives and lives on. You follow what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's why we don't acknowledge that our ancestors, all you do is when you die or when you cease to exist on this physical plane. I've walked with the Master for over 30 years. I've touched the hem of his garb, and he's taught me personally. You live forever. You're part of the essence of creation. You follow what I'm saying? You're just All death is just a key of another door to take you to another dimension. Your spirit and your soul lives on. Your mentality lives on. We are a conscious gas. You opening up doors now. We are a conscious gas that's because if you read the Bible, Adam was created in spirit first. So we are all created in spirit. We was in spirit before we became a body or a flesh. Right. So, okay, so all we are is a conscious gas that's housing this body. And once this body is deceased, when you do your time here on this plane, your body goes back to where it came from, which is the ground, and your spirit and your soul goes back to a higher life, depending on how you lived your life on this plane.
And you had acquired mass and land behind a leader in Malachi York, who has been in prison since 2002, and you're fighting for his release, and his release is imminent, you say.
Exactly. He will be vindicated.
He will be vindicated. So members of his nation, you guys been fighting for him this whole time during his incarceration, and he's known about it. What has he been communicating and saying to you?
Well, he has multiple wives. He has sisters and brothers, and only certain people can go see him. But Dr. York, to show you that he's God in flesh, he's still writing books. This is all he do, is write books, okay? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, spoke of Dr. York. He said, whoever possessed the knowledge of the Lamb, or when pamphlets will start coming from the sky, that's who we're supposed to be with. He's the new Savior. He's not the Most High God, first of all. Exactly. But he is a God. Our God concept is different from what religious depicted as. Our God is any person or anything that has control of anybody or anything. That's who my God is. Your first God in your life was your mother. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Because she birthed us. You feel what I'm saying? Right. We're not into that falsehood belief stuff, that faith. We're into faith. We're into what we call right knowledge. Right knowledge is to know, okay? Facts, right knowledge, right wisdom, and right understanding. Now, Nuwaubian is the science of sound right reasoning, and its followers are the sons and daughters of sound right reasoning. It is important that we express the meaning of words and how we use them so that we are not misinterpreted. We use the word sound as an adjective, meaning having a firm base, unshakable, free from defect. We use the word right as an adjective, meaning in accordance with facts, truth, correct, proper. And reasoning is used as a noun, meaning the capabilities of logic, rational thoughts, and intelligence, good judgment, sound sense, underlining facts or cause that provide logic, sense for a premise or an occurrence. Hence, sound right reasoning is the unshakable facts and logic. Also, Nuwaubian is right knowledge, right wisdom, and right understanding. Right knowledge organizes and unifies the mind individually and collectively. If knowledge is not to be confusing and thereby ineffective, then it must be in sequence. Knowledge received must be in organized sequence in order to put the mind in order and unity. Knowledge is the state or facts of knowing. To know is to have information. Therefore, right knowledge is correct information, which can be taught, spoken, or written. Right wisdom is knowing how and when to use knowledge. Right understanding is receipt of knowledge by the mind and is the unity of knowledge and wisdom. That's what Nuwaubian is. Right. Okay? Okay. And this is what Dr. York has come to bring us. For those who are asking themselves this question, simply put, Nuwaubian is right knowledge, right wisdom, and right understanding, which leads to sound right reasoning, the truth, the facts, the ability to know. It is the origin, ancient spiritual science of African people the world over. At no other time in our story, not his story, okay, our story, were we blacks or African people in more need of this science as we are today. Nuwaubian, the African powers of nature, influence, and we're going to get back to your ancestors. This is going to lead you to your ancestor. Influence the mind, trains of thought, and culture that produced the kingdom and empire of Egypt, Kush, Mali, Ghana, and Seminole. These great and monumental kingdoms are the true roots of Africans in America, West Africa, and beyond. When thoroughly researched and studied, we will find that these kingdoms, the culture they live, produce great wealth, health, harmony, abundance, and success for it. People. By returning to our true roots, Nuwaubu, African people will once again experience the liberating success of times past. That's what we're here to bring. Okay? Yeah. And it's for everybody. It don't matter if you're black, white, Puerto Rican, Muslim, Christian, or Jew. All eyes on Egypt, the Nuwaubian Nation, we got something for you.
Well, one thing I like about it, because people do get caught up in the religious.
Exactly.
And to say that you're not focusing on religion.
Exactly. And
it's all about, having right knowledge and then applying that knowledge wisely and then receiving that to be overstanding. That's to be commended, man. Right. Now tell me, what are you looking to do going forward with your nation? Like, how are you attempting to address like, take for instance over here, it was a lot of negative shootings and things going on in the community. Then you had organizations come out a couple days later. They basically wanted to shut a bar down because people got shot in front of the bar, like 5 people. Right. And, some people felt like, well, it ain't the bar fault, the bar. And then some people feel like that negative atmosphere is conducive to those things happening, So how can organizations like yours come in the community, be effective at reaching the people and drawing them in and being of real tangible benefit to the people? How could that take place?
Well, we're in a day and time now where it's about spirituality. Okay, if you don't have the knowledge of self to learn to better yourself, okay, you can't help yourself. Okay, we're in a day and time now where we're going.
And you say knowledge of self, that's basically like the right knowledge. Like,
exactly.
If you're into a certain thing, you want to have that right body of knowledge to go with that certain thing you're into.
Exactly. But it's only going to be I don't want to sound harsh, but it's only for a chosen few. We're in a day and time now where Mother Earth Mother Earth, every 6,000 years, this earth goes through a cycle. Okay? It don't matter if you black, white, Puerto Rican, whatever. Everybody is involved in it. You can't, when Mother Nature says something, it gets done. You follow what I'm saying? Yeah. It don't matter if you president or if you a reverend or a preacher or whatever you call yourself. When Mother Nature say shut down, you gonna shut down.
Harvey.
We're in the last days.
Harvey.
Okay, I don't want to get into religion, but this is about spirituality. You have to be a truth seeker from the cradle to the grave. You have to want to know certain things. It's a spiritual cycle that we're going through. You follow what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a certain lifestyle that we have to live through. If people have to get in tune with creation, which we are offset. Our teacher taught us that we're actually out of our minds.
I second that notion.
They're taking us from Africa, and we're out of our natural habitat. So that's why our people is running muck like we are. Yeah. You follow what I'm saying? Yeah. They got this caste society that's been on it for 400 years. It was prophesied that Abraham's children was going to live in a land for 400 years that's not their own. That's how that prophecy pertains to black folks. But with the year 2000 of the year 1970, if you add 400 years to the year 1600, you get the year what? 2000. Okay. That's how that prophecy pertains to us. Now that the opening of the seventh seal in 1970, all falsehood is going to be destroyed and all truth is going to be made manifest.
Oh!
So all you got to do is just be a looker, a seeker of truth. Right. And just like the reason that we're here today, because we're supposed to be here today. Our ancestors put us together. Okay. You feel what I'm saying? Your ancestors is not dead. They're just in another realm watching us, trying to give us guidance.
So how do you learn? What's a good way to learn from your ancestors?
To read our books.
To read the books.
To read these scrolls. Hold some of them up, good brother. Dr. York has written over 1,200 scrolls on any subject that you can think of under the sun, over the sun. Wherever you're at in your life, we got a book for you.
Okay.
If you're in religion, we got religious books.
How can they get in touch with your organization if they want to find out more information about it?
We got flyers. I got cards. Go to if you're on Facebook. Which one you holding up? Oh, okay. All Eyes on Egypt bookstore, 1739 Holyoke Euclid Avenue, 3rd floor, East Cleveland. 441. You got one. Okay. 441-12. 678-510-6102. My name is Elder Green, and this is Brother Elder Hotep. Okay, my Nuwaubian name is Nasat Unk Nabab Imhotep Reye.
And what does that mean?
That means teacher, leader, ever-living, master, he who comes in peace in the house of Ray.
Player T, that's me.
Okay.
I want to thank the Nuwaubian Nation for coming on board. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Brother Hotep over here, Elder Green. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this webcast. You want to learn more information about the Nuwaubian Nation and the language and everything, make sure you visit the site. Make sure you stay down with us. Player T, that's me, Hollywood in the Hood.
Player T, can I say one more
Hollywood
thing?
in the hood.
Hey, go ahead, Elder Green.
I'm Player T, and it's for everybody, okay? We're already Nubians. Y'all already Nuwaubians. Y'all just don't know it. It's in your DNA. Dr. York is here to bring certain science of religion, of the isms, and it's going to awaken you. You have a power laying dormant in you. You follow what I'm saying? And all you got to do is just tap into some of these scrolls, and it'll awaken a power in you. You follow what I'm saying? It's back here, and Dr. York is bringing it up here.
Oh,
all right.
Player T,
Peace and
that's
blessings
me,
to all.
Hollywood in the
All
Hood.
Nuwaubians.